you a young person with an active lifestyle and upscale aspirations, but you also appreciate frugality? You are? Well, great! Honda's going to be so excited to meet you. That's because Honda has designed their 2023 HR-V with you cool folks in mind. Look, I'm no marketing genius, so how's about I describe the all-new HR-V and let you form your own conclusions? We should start with looks. The new HR-V is 2.6 inches wider and 8.7 inches longer. I'll be honest, when I saw pictures, I wasn't quite sold on the idea, but in person, I think it looks great. And one detail that I think is really cool is if you come look at the hood line here, normally you'd see like some little rubbery, plasticky bits up here, but they've totally eliminated that. It has this really smooth quality on top, this standard spoiler back here. And if you come to the rear here, I'm not sure if this was intentional, but these do kind of look like accurate TLX lights. Very upscale. LED head and taillights come standard. There are 7 paint choices, and each trim has its own nuances. That gray HR-V is the sports trim, and the greenish one is the fancier EXL. Here are some lingering shots so you can get your head around the HR-V's new shape. Underneath, the second generation HR-V is built atop the same platform as the latest Honda Civic, now featuring an independent rear suspension, which should do good things for ride and handling versus the previous torsion beam setup. Further improving ride quality and vehicle stability is a 1.7-inch longer wheelbase and wheels that are set wider apart, 2 inches in front and 2.5 inches wider in back. Naturally, the HR-V's dimensional expansions yield benefits inside. In the press materials, Honda noted an improvement in rear seat legroom. I'll be the judge of rear seat legroom. I am sitting behind my ideal front seat position, and that is a ton of legroom. There's a ton of knee room distance here, and I also like that the front seats sit up high enough that I can jam my toes under there. The real trick, though, is can I sit behind where Jeff Glucker, my needlessly tall compadre over at the Auto Trader channel, can I sit behind him? He's like 6'4" or something, is that right, Danger? 6'4"-ish?
Yeah, about 6'4".
About 6'4", okay, so even I can sit behind where Jeff Glucker sits with plenty of room to spare. Also, they've made the rear seats wider, so if you want to have somebody sit in the middle, it's a little bit more accommodating. Yeah, this is roomy. My head's nowhere near touching the top, ton of space. Cargo space has also grown to 24.4 cubic feet, which is great. And also the load-in height, they made mention of this in the press materials as well, is a little bit more than 27 inches, which is very low. You know what we should do? We should put down the seats and see what that looks like. Easy to do from the rear. Oh, wait, you know, I gotta move that front seat forward a little bit, but take a look at how flat this gets. Just, excuse me while I take care of that. There we go. That is a very flat, big space. I don't know if active young professionals get excited about easy cargo loading, but I sure do. More excitement can be found up front, where the interior continues the honeycomb theme introduced by the latest Honda Civic, but expands upon it with a curvier motif. This is undoubtedly the most voluptuous center console I've encountered in recent history. Honda also made mention of improving outward visibility, and true enough, the A-pillars here are very thin. The view forward is great. And even over my shoulder, you know, you got a little quarter window back there. And I mean, it's kind of a thick rear pillar, but I can see reasonably well outside. One thing that really jumps out to me though is interior quality. So you touch here and like, this is the mid-level sport trim, and this is very soft. You got this cool honeycomb treatment here, the stitching all along here. There are enough nice details in here that this does not feel like the cheap SUV. And then last is, I forget the name that Honda gave them, but the new seats are recontoured to be more comfortable and less fatiguing. And my complaint with HR-V seats was always that there wasn't enough static lumbar support down here. That is no longer the case. These are super comfortable seats. Also, I like the stitching in here. If you can't tell, I feel like this was almost made for me. We'll call this the Mica Spec HR-V. For interior tech, there's a new 7-inch digital gauge cluster that's standard on all trims. Infotainment comes from a standard 7-inch screen, or on the highest EXL trim, this optional 9-inch screen. With either screen, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are included, though both are wireless with the 9-inch screen. Look, we have a volume knob, a super simple interface. We've got physical buttons down here for sub-menus, and there's even a little anchor point so you can more accurately use the screen when I'm driving like an idiot. And I'm always driving like an idiot. The other big news is the engine. It's now a 2-liter producing 158 horsepower. If that figure sounds low, remember the previous 1.8-liter engine only made 141 horsepower. Transmitting that power is a standard continuously variable transmission, and while CVTs get a bad rap among car reviewers, Honda has previously done good work minimizing the droning unpleasantness that drives folks like me crazy. By the way, I forgot to mention that the HR-V now offers 3 drive modes. I will not be using Eco mode. Normal mode will work fine for me, though I might use Snow mode if I carve out some time for my active lifestyle. If you're curious about fuel economy, here's some on-screen text. As implied by that text, front-wheel drive comes standard, while all-wheel drive is offered for a modest $1,500. Speaking of pricing, a base HR-V LX front-wheel drive trim has an MSRP of $23,650. Go with the fanciest EXL all-wheel drive, and it's $28,950. Be sure to tack on an extra $1,245 in destination charges to those prices as well. As long as Honda has been kind enough to provide us with 2 HR-Vs, I'm going to point out the differences between the Sport model and the EXL. So the Sport model has the previously noted orange stitching here, which is really nice. You also have the 7-inch screen here, and these cloth seats, which have kind of a sporty vibe to them. I like the general motif here. But then if you move over here to the EXL, which is the fancier one, you'll notice a more sedate stitching style. You've got these leatherette seats, and you've got a more larger 9-inch screen right here. Oh, and you also have dual zone climate control, whereas the Sport has single zone. And then last thing, you might think this looks like shadows or something. This is actually the texture. It's sort of got this kind of ribbed quality to it. Oh, you can get a pretty good sound out of that thing. I'll stop. From a safety perspective, the 2023 Honda HR-V ranks strong with 10 airbags and an updated Honda Sensing suite of active driver assist tech coming standard on all trims. In total, the all-new HR-V appears to be a value-rich, roomy little SUV. I don't know to what degree the 2023 Honda HR-V will appease your upscale aspirations, but I do know it goes on sale in June of 2022. All right, you should probably get back to your active lifestyle, shouldn't you? Are you going to go to the club, or are you going to go canoeing? You'll figure it out.